I wanted to ask you guys if any of you really know what it is or what it means to release fear and to trust the universe. Do any of you know how that feels? I feel like it's spoken about a lot, just have faith, just trust, but do you guys understand what the process looks like and what this concept really entails? It's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's not so easy, especially when you're being driven by your ego mind, right? So I just want to point something out here, so that you can see how your brain kind of tricks you back into not having faith. Okay. And I'll give you the typical scenario of, when this usually happens. So something new comes into your life, you're super excited about it, but it's too good to be true, right? And so you start to feel the fear of losing it, the fear of, is this really for you? How long is it going to last? You start to question the intentions, the motives of whatever the situation or person is, right? Like you're having all these fears. And then you talk to the people around you and they're like, girl, like just trust it. Or man, just trust it. Just go with it. It's for you. It's for you. Enjoy it. Don't think about it so much, right? People start telling you this. So it takes you some time, but you feel like, you know what? I'm just going to go with the flow. It's true. I deserve this. It's meant for me. I shouldn't think that it's too good to be true. And then right when you start thinking that, bam, something happens and it's like completely gone, completely destroyed. You're worse than you were before and you have no idea. And then you're like, see, this is what happens when I trust the universe. This is what happens when I feel dumb. I feel like I was taken advantage of, and it was too good to be true. It was all the things that I initially thought. This is like a process, right? Getting to the point. So now you're back at square one and you're like, I'm never going to do this again. I'm going to go with my first thought when I'm not going to, if something is too good to be true, it's too good to be true, blah, blah, blah. We all go through it. I've done it a gazillion times, but here's where I want you to think. When we say release the fear and trust the universe, trust God, trust whatever it is that you feel, that higher power, right? You have to make sure that your subconscious and your mind are on the same level, are on the same page, okay? Now, hear me out. In that moment when you said, okay, you know what? I trust the universe. Let me go with the flow. You really didn't release the fear and you really didn't actually just go with the flow. What happened was your brain accumulated enough instances and circumstances that made it feel like, you know what? I could trust this person. I could trust the situation. You know what? I feel confident now. They've given me enough things to make me feel like this is a good thing, right? But your subconscious in the back of your head, you're still protecting yourself. You're still fearful. You're still doubting. But your brain kind of is like covering that fear that you're feeling from within with actions that have been taken to prove to you that you deserve this and this is really for you. And what did I tell you guys before about, I did a being grateful, truly grateful video. What did I tell you guys in that video? The universe, God, whatever, they smell the bullshit, okay? In your mind, after you've accumulated enough instances and say, you know what, I trusted everything is going how I thought it would go. This person has shown me X, Y, and Z. The situation has shown me X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna allow them. I'm gonna trust them. I'm gonna go in. The universe, whatever you believe in, they know that this is still a fear of yours. They know that you are still doubting. They know what's in your subconscious, okay? So, how do we solve this, right? The number one step to solving this is to be real and honest with yourself, okay? Don't go with the mind and say, yeah, I'm trusting. Yeah, this person gave me enough thing. No, introspect within yourself, reflect within yourself. Ask yourself, do you really trust the situation? And if you don't, that's okay. It's important for you to acknowledge it. Okay. So boom, you're honest with yourself and you know deep down within, you just don't know. You still feel that doubt. You're not sure if this is really for you. Step 2 is to acknowledge that. Okay. So, thank you for allowing me to see this. And try to reflect, try to see why it is that you're feeling all these things. And it's going to bring you back to maybe past relationships or past situations that have happened to you, showing you that you really haven't overcome a lot of things that have happened in your life. And so this is a fear that you have, and the universe keeps bringing things up for you to actually face it head on. So you have to address this fear. Okay. So boom, you're honest with yourself and you know deep down within, you just don't know. You still feel that doubt. You're not sure if this is really for you. Step 2 is to acknowledge that. Okay. So, thank you for allowing me to see this. And try to reflect, try to see why it is that you're feeling all these things. And it's going to bring you back to maybe past relationships or past situations that have happened to you, showing you that you really haven't overcome a lot of things that have happened in your life. And so this is a fear that you have, and the universe keeps bringing things up for you to actually face it head on. So you have to address this fear. Okay. And then once you acknowledge that fear, it's a matter of breaking it down and seeing how true these things are. So is it true that you're unworthy? Why is it true? Can you think of reasons why you feel unworthy? And then do the opposite. Reasons why you are worthy. You're trying to really negate where this fear is coming from. And if the worst case scenario happens, you're planning for it. Okay, you're doubtful of the situation because then what if this happens? Okay, what if it happens? What are you going to do about it? What would you do in the situation? Right? Is that fear bigger than whatever it is that you want to pursue? Are you going to stop yourself? Are you not going to move forward? So I just want you guys to understand. I hope it lands, it makes sense. If it doesn't, leave me a comment and I'll try to explain myself better, send me a message or something. But the universe smells the it knows the truth. And we know the truth, but we try to cover it up so many times, and it's perfectly fine. But you need to be real with yourself, acknowledge that part of you that's fearful, and then release it, and just try to think of ways to negate whatever that fear is, and try and love yourself a little more, and know that you're worthy, and know that you deserve all the good that comes to you, right? Why do we accept the bad so easily? Why not the good just as easy? Why are we so complicated like that? So annoying. And I also want you guys to realize or think about how all of the times where you felt like you didn't feel, you were afraid of something that was so good, and then when you finally let yourself go a little bit, it kind of happens again, where your biggest fear actually comes into presence. Think of those situations, but then also see if you can think of situations where you were just like, you know what, I'm just really letting it go. Whatever, I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to bother with it. And how good it turned out when you just fully released in that way. Your subconscious and your brain were on the same page, and things went the way that you wanted them to go because you fully released. There's a huge difference. This is all about trusting yourself a little more, having faith in that you don't need to have so much control over everything. It just creates a lot more pressure. It's such a beautiful release to just let go of things that you really have no control over. Why do we put that stress on ourselves? I'll never understand that. I mean, I did it for many, many years. And once I realized that, you know what, I have no control over the situation. I can only control myself and my perception. My life just became so much more free. It's stressless in a way, not completely stressless. Don't get me stressless. Don't get me wrong. I have to catch myself all day long, because it's so easy to go back to how you're so used to thinking for most of your life. I have to catch myself a lot, and I have to look at how I'm thinking, look at how I'm responding to things, pay attention to my body. Like, this is a constant work. It's not something that happens overnight or, that you master. This is something that you continuously have to do every single day throughout the day. And it sounds exhausting, but it's the most freeing thing at the same time. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I hope so. I hope this helps somebody. But you have to get your mind and your subconscious in the same place in order for you to have things go and flow. And this is why we get so many, just when I was trusting the universe, here goes. Of course something went wrong. This is why it happens so often, because we're full of shit. Basically, we're full of shit. No, we don't trust and release. We're really in the bottom of our souls, still wanting some type of control in situations. And we really just need to release in any way, shape, or form that we can. Okay, in order to see and feel through the blessings that we're supposed to get on this earth. Okay, yeah, hope it lands. Let me know. Leave me a comment. I definitely want to hear you guys, and the opinion that you have on this.